don't understand.
Is this TikTok?
So comedians, hence exactly the same principle.
Most of it is soft porn, to be honest.
Excellent. Right, let's get into this, shall we? Hello and welcome to episode 57 of I'm Fine, a chat between myself, Damo, and my old mucker Mark, a man so trim he can make a prime cut of grass-fed filet. Jealous.
Okie dokie.
You're so hard to impress at the moment.
I just don't know how to respond to them.
All right, we don't.
Or I'll do
Just pull a
one for
face.
you.
No, don't. Filet or fillet? Fillet?
I think you'd say fillet steak, wouldn't you?
Should I do that again then? And you can have a different reaction.
I don't know. Carry on. Move on.
It's a chat around the subjects of health, wealth, well-being, fitness, sport, politics in the 80s. Plenty of the 80s. Probably a bit more of that to come, and some of the 60s. We're all working
You see that?
Do you want to eat that before
I'm
I
not going
carry
to
on?
eat it. I'm not going to eat it.
Well, why did you open it?
Just to tempt me.
Just I don't understand you. We're all work in progress, and this podcast is no exception. In short, it's a poke at our perfectly imperfect lives. And if we can make just one person feel like they're not alone in all this madness, then our work here is done. I want a bit of that, actually. Now you've got that out of the packet. Make sure you subscribe to us in your podcast app and follow us on the socials by searching for I'm Finecast. So, coming up in this episode, catch-ups, bookmarks, work-life ballet. We've got some retro sweets action because you wanted some. You wanted to lighten this thing up, didn't you? I mean, I think
if only we could go live on YouTube and get people voting on who wins.
Who wins what? Oh, the retro.
The retro sweets.
No one will watch us live. They barely watch us record. They don't, do they? Hardly. We haven't got anyone listening. In Brain Food, we'd do some prediction in crystal balls.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably look back on some of our predictions and make some predictions. Well, you already did in the last episode, actually, didn't you? Yeah. And we got some. We actually got some mailbag and life hacks as per usual. Insert positive statement here. I've got nothing positive to say about you.
Okay.
I'll go and have a bite of it, please.
Can you? Do you want to describe what it is?
It's a protein. Is that My Protein? So you're a big fan of it. Are you endorsed by My Protein? I think you should be. You have enough of it. You got the little drinking thing. You've got the snacks. We are breaking our rule, aren't we?
What, sponsorship or eating?
Eating.
It's a birthday cake.
You talked about doing ads. Okay, why don't you do an ad for this?
Okay.
While I'll eat it. I'll eat it, and then you do an ad. Okay?
I don't know whether to do it like Apprentice style.
Just however it comes out. I'm going to eat it. Fuck, that's delicious.
That's all you need to know.
Is that strawberry?
No, it's birthday cake flavour.
Okay, no, which is unbelievable.
Birthday cake, My Protein bars, 20 grams of protein, but only 2.4 grams of sugar. Use it to supplement your diet.
Come on, it's so delicious.
I don't know if that's really going to sell it.
Almost where if I just go a bit closer to the mic. Then...
Everybody loves people eating. Stop it. It's good, isn't it? I mean, it is sweet.
Spectacular. Is it good for me, is it?
Yep.
Excellent.
It reminds me, the top of that reminds me, when you come onto the retro sweets, what do you call the white buttons that have the hundreds and thousands on top?
Oh, crikey.
Because they've got a lot of names, and I know
don't
because
know
you're
it.
Northern.
We just used to get, my mum used to bring like a bag of those, used to get like a quarter from the shop, you know.
Yeah.
Rather than in a packet, just in a see-through bag. So I never really knew what never got them in it's never a brand. They just came in don't know.
I know Jazzy's is one.
Right.
But there's quite a lot. Anyway, we'll leave that to the sweet
we're
special.
teasing.
We're jumping, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. You okay?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Anything to report?
Yeah, half my birthday cake's gone.
It's really good. Are you not going to have any? You're going to save yourself? Are you going to save it, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to have it. I'm not going to
really
eat
good.
it.
Thank you. That's delicious.
Yeah, good.
We have a new website, Mark.
Yeah.
Would you say it like that? Sounds like there's a criticism coming.
No. Well, only a self-criticism. I went to look at it because I knew you'd been doing work on it, and it wasn't that easy to find.
What are you on about? I sent you a link to it. What? What do you mean easy to find? Have you done a Google search for a website and a link I basically sent you? I should have sent a screenshot. I knew it. I knew it. Here's our new website. Here's a picture of the new website, Mark. Honestly.
Okay, anyway.
Any idea how long I've spent on that?
Quite a long time.
Thank you.
Longer than me.
Yes.
You're sorting out other people's websites today, weren't this week as well?
Yeah, well, so I do that. Help people, don't I?
Mm.
Idiot. So the new website, imfinecast.com for all those people who...
Yeah, I thought that's where I'd look. Anyway.
Okay, right. Can we just settle this once and for all? Do you want to put it in now and have a look on your phone?
More TikTok.
Stop it.
Um,
I'm going to get cross. I can feel it. I'm getting angry.
I've never seen you angry.
You wouldn't want to. I think you'd just laugh at me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd take it seriously, would
No.
you? So, yes, imfinecast.com is not something we've pushed, really, because we're on Anchor and Spotify and all the other things. So, but we did talk about something I really wanted to do and had started doing was starting to categorize our pods. And now we're knocking on the door of 60 pods.
Yeah.
And we talk about some...
Oh, you got the hashtags?
Yeah.
Good. Well done. You're good at this.
Thank you. So I've got categories in there.
Yeah.
So you can go to browse episodes, and I've done categories, so quite a broad search, and then I've got hashtags for the wider things that we've talked. You know, we talked about the hashtag cloud at the beginning.
Yeah,
We've actually
yeah.
got one,
Wicked.
like a real one. Mm-hmm. What I haven't done, so I've gone through broadly and put in the categories and the hashtags based on the descriptions. Because when you read the description, I cannot remember.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I could give a job to my mum, couldn't I?
I was going to say, get her back.
She's good at admin.
Yeah.
She can go and give her the website access. Oh God, give her the website access, and she can start tagging all the content.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good, isn't it? Before she goes too far.
Yeah.
I'll give you a shout in a bit, Mum. I've got mindfulness written here. Why have I got mindfulness written down?
Don't know.
I have no idea either. Test and trace. So, do you know I was saying 12 billion? Then you went, I'm pretty sure it's 22 billion.
But
and
now
then
it's 37.
And guess what stat I'm about to give you?
Okay, here we go. If you gave... All right, we haven't discussed this. I reckon you're going to tell me two things. You're going to tell me that's £546 for every person in this country. That's one stat you might give me. Or number two, the comedian who said, if you gave... Comedian. Who said, why don't we just buy everybody a mid-range smartphone in the whole of the UK?
Yeah.
And for £1 million, I'll give them a bell every day and see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fairly amusing.
Someone else said a mid-priced telephone and pay £100 for everyone to check in every day.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw that one as well. Yeah.
That's good. No, I wasn't going to give you that stat. I was going to give you how high the stack of 37 billion in £20 notes was going to be. Because that's how we measure everything now.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
So 37 billion would have in £20 sterling notes, crisp ones, remember, it's very important to say, a weight of just over 2 tons. And a single stack of 1,850,000,000 new banknotes.
How many?
1,850,000,000 new banknotes would be 246 kilometres high, 152 miles.
Right.
Space is only 62 miles away. That's nuts, isn't it?
So test and trace would...
Did think, is that going to reach the space station? But that's about 400. That's about 400 kilometres. So it's over halfway from here to the International Space Station. Cool, huh?
So...
And scary as well.
From a similar aspect, I've been looking at doing billions in terms of time.
Oh, that's a good one. Have you done the 37 billion then, have you?
Yes, I had actually.
Or just then, or...
No. Before, it's actually on my laptop here. I just noticed when I started doing
Cool, go.
No, I'm only going to do one.
Oh, one what?
Amazon's revenue for 2020
Oh, yeah.
is $386 billion. If every one of those dollars was a minute...
A minute, right?
Yeah. Not a second on this one.
Okay.
This is just a bit more impressive.
It's a minute.
If every one of those dollars was a minute...
So 386 billion minutes.
Yeah. Is 750,000 years. So basically, that would equate to 734,000 years.
Wowee.
But I've got another. This is the day for stats. Boom, here we come.
Steady yourselves, everybody.
You know, in America, they're trying to get, I think, is it a minimum wage or a living wage of $15 an hour?
Oh, yeah.
And there's a load of, it's too much. And there's a big sort of, our price of our McDonald's will go up.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. This is what billionaires have made in the pandemic per hour.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Musk. No, I'll go from the bottom. Buffett, $3 million an hour.
What, since...
During the pandemic.
Well, that's basically last year, right? Roughly.
Yeah. Gates, 3.2. Zuckerberg, 5.1. Bezos, 9.4. Musk, $19.5 million an hour. you wouldn't take lunch, would you?
Yeah, but I don't think he's made that. I think it's more likely... No, hold on.
No, well, when I was in the club with them, and we
Shut your
were all
face.
saying the other day, we're so
Yeah,
misunderstood.
last time I spoke
it's not
to...
real money.
Last time I spoke to Jeff and Elon, right?
Yeah.
We made it very clear that that's probably the value of Elon.
Have you told him about the diesel and petrol thing?
Yeah.
Tesla covered in diesel.
Yeah, right.
Go on then.
No, all I'm saying, I'm not poo-pooing your thing. All I'm saying is that Musk probably didn't make that. He probably made that in value of his shares, rather than Bezos probably actually made it in cold hard cash. That's all I was saying.
Okay, fine.
You know what I mean? Because
because
Musk is probably
worth
worth more, isn't he? But he's sold bugger all.
Yeah,
Amazon actually sell a shit ton.
They opened their first contactless shop, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
be good for introverts, wouldn't it?
yeah, it would be good.
Mm.
We're talking about when you die and the debts and running up debts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's funds from your estate that are used to pay inheritance tax.
Yeah.
So I think if you've got an estate and you've got outstanding dets, you settle it with what you've got.
Yeah.
If you haven't got anything in the estate, it gets written off.
Whistle. Yeah.
I can whistle. I can jog on.
Yeah.
So there is an element of why don't you just, we'll get to maybe there's that kind of scale where you get to a point where I go, right, now we're heading on the downside to my life. Maybe I'm over the peak.
Well,
why don't I just make sure I go off this mortal coil with absolutely nothing? Do you know what I mean? Or just go over a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's,
go out, get some loan sharks.
So what's happened with my
cash.
What's happened with my dad's estate is that he went totally by the book, and so I think you're allowed to give whatever it was, I don't know, £1,500 in gifts a year.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, okay.
And so he would give £1,500.
So eke out your inheritance that way, yeah.
So he was well off. He had
Yeah.
a nice house and he had a lot of savings.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this around pensions. So he did his job, got taxed on the money,
Yeah.
put it into a pension, gets taxed on his pension, and then when he dies, the money that he's been taxed on and then taxed on is then taxed on.
It's a proper piss take, isn't it?
Yeah. I actually worked it out at some stage. Some of the money would actually be negative because it would have been 40% would have gone, there would have been nothing left. He was actually owing people. So he died on August 21st, so just over 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I accept, hands up, I could have been a wee bit quicker getting every bit of paperwork off.
Including opening envelopes?
Yes, it's one of the two things did. But there was pandemic, there was me not being good at opening envelopes, and some of his records were a little bit difficult to get to the bottom of because they were all paper records, obviously. Yeah. Anywho, got his probate sorted to a point now where we know roughly what the tax bill is. Mm-hmm. And the person that is assisting with the probate said, just to let you know, from February the 21st, 6 months after my dad's death, you're now being charged on this tax bill.
Oh, what late interest? Late payment interest or just...
Yeah, because you haven't done everything with his estate and sold his house.
They didn't tell you this 6 months ago.
Well, I don't think it's the first thing you look at when you're trying to sort out.
No, but no one said, make sure you don't spend longer than 6 months because you'll start getting...
But also 6 months, somebody's died in a pandemic. Everything else is being put on hold.
Oh, so yes.
The replies, I'm writing off to a building society and they're going, it might take us 4 weeks to reply.
It's true. I mean,
because we've hardly got any staff. So I wait 4 weeks.
Yeah, HMRC aren't bothering people for their late VAT payments at the moment. They're like, we'll get it when we get it. Because everyone's under a lot of pressure or not getting the post because they're not in the office, for example.
So we've now got the irony of my dad's,
they're all over you when you're
salary
grieving.
being taxed and his pension contributions being taxed and then the pension payment being taxed and then the money that's remaining being charged daily interest. Okay. So the bill has come in and it's for all his assets. So his money and the value of the house.
Right.
So to stop interest, you have to pay on all of it. Now, obviously, we haven't sold the house in the middle of a pandemic, but that doesn't matter. You have to pay all your inheritance tax, or you can do it in 10 payments, but interest will be payable on those. And I'm thinking...
It's tight, isn't it?
We're hardly getting a penny out of Amazon, yet my old man is sort of...
Yeah, good point.
Doesn't feel...
No, don't feel right, does it?
And he did everything by the book. And you're right. If he had put the house over to me 8 years ago, it would have been in my name now, and he wouldn't have had to pay.
I thought there was things to stop that. It have to be a certain time before their death.
but if
you're
you don't,
cool,
I think
you
it was
don't know
like
when they're going to
7
die,
years.
do you? You don't know. You
No,
have
but
to
he
kind
could
of
have done
time
it. He could
right.
have done it when he was 60 and just said,
Yeah.
"I'm just going to keep living here.
Yeah.
I'm handing it over to you."
Peppercorn rent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't even a difficult system to play, but
No, no. But
anyways.
yeah, bull's blood wine.
Mm.
Because you told the story, the interesting story of how you used to go and hang out with one of your teachers dressed as a cadet and drink wine and smoke cigars at age of 13, if I remember rightly. And you went, who hasn't? And I went, me, Mark, and most of the listeners, actually, I think you'll find.
Is it Bulgarian? Or was I wrong on that?
Egri Bikava, the wine formerly known as bull's blood.
A bit like Prince.
What, formerly known as?
Yeah.
Egri Bikava, known to many as bull's blood, is the traditional red wine of the North Hungarian appellation of Eger.
All right.
Located between Budapest and Tokaj. You'll probably know this anyway, but the town of Eger is the site of a 16th century battle between the Hungarians and the Ottomans. This is relevant. The Hungarian victory is attributed in legend to their drinking red wine that the Turks thought was bull's blood.
So ironic I was in an army uniform drinking it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was what he was trying to recreate.
Yeah, the battle of the Hungarians and the Ottomans. Isn't an Ottoman the thing you have at the end
Piece
of your
of
bed?
furniture, yeah.
You put blankets in.
You're bound to win that battle, aren't you?
What, battle of the blankets?
Well, if you just play, you're fighting a box.
Yeah. Just looks like a field of furniture, Sarge.
Firewood, yeah.
There we are. I don't know what kind of brand of cigars you were smoking at 13, but, you know.
I have got another cigar story, but it's not that good. So, no, I don't know what brand. They were in a box.
Oh, you told me something random when you came in today. You went, rice has got arsenic in it. How do we even get on that? We get on some random things, don't we?
No idea.
Oh, we're talking about your book, your Great Reset book, been laced with something, because it is unusually heavy.
Yeah, that is
isn't it?
suspicious.
It
Isn't
is very
How many-
suspicious.
I'll have a look at the pages.
They're either really
Sorry
thin.
about my hundreds and thousands.
I don't know how you've opened that. Watch me eat it, and you not had any of it. You haven't even had a lick. You've thumbed the crumbs.
So it's 280 pages, but that is like a...
It feels like it should be 4 times as
tome,
thick,
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird. It's suspicious
sure it
in
has
every
got stuff in it.
manner.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying. It might be laced with something. You said,
I
it's
said it might
probably
be
laced.
laced with arsenic, yeah.
And rice
Yeah,
is.
rice has got arsenic.
Do you want to tell us about rice and arsenic?
I don't even know if it's true. I just think I saw something the other day. Arsenic and old rice. That's a literary reference. It's arsenic and old
Yeah,
rice.
I wouldn't go. It's against too rich for my blood.
Bull's blood. Is Steve Bull's blood as your wolf's?
That's very good.
That's going to get a lot of laughs from people, isn't it?
Especially in
Germany. Have you seen our German listeners?
Going up, innit? That's good. So good. The arsenic content of raw rice varies from 0.1 to 0.4 milligrams of inorganic arsenic. Rice has a much higher arsenic level than arsenic.
Arsenic.
Huh? Yeah. Rice has a much higher arsenic level than that in other grains such as wheat and barley, for which the reported arsenic content is 0.3 to 0. Oh, so boring, isn't it?
Yeah, but there is arsenic in rice. So
yes, there is. Yes, undisputable.
Yeah. Undisputable, do you say?
Indisputable.
Okay, just checking. Your mum can listen back
Mr.
to that one.
Pedant. I sat on some scissors once and got arsenic poisoning. I forgot to tell you. Well, I didn't. I have told you. I forgot to tell our goodness. I forgot to tell you, good listeners. Because we talk to each other. We don't really talk. I only really talk to people at the end. Have you noticed? At the beginning, I say hello. I'm not talking to you.
Okay, then we have a chat.
Then we have a chat where I'm talking to you, and then I kind of talk to. Yeah. So for most of this pod, we kind of ignore everyone.
Yeah.
It's just dawned on me, that dynamic. Anyway.
It's like Eric and
we know
Ernie
they're there.
when they were...
Eric and Ernie. Okay, Bert. Oh, no, that's...
Morecambe and Wise, I meant. Anyway.
Not Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie.
Oh, God, I'm so tired.
Go on then, get to your point.
I have told you, I haven't told our good listeners, that my Atlas DNA and gut biome results are back.
Oh, yeah.
And they are vast. What?
Just an interesting adjective.
The stats are vast.
Okay. Can you hit us with some headlines?
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I think I'm kind of related to Darwin. That's what it said. It's gone... What? You look at me going, oh, you fuck.
Galapagos tortoise, maybe. That's about as Darwinist as you
Imbecile. How could you possibly be... I share the same, similar DNA or something.
Yeah.
I'll do this more justice.
Yeah. But
There's so much stuff. I'm still digesting it all. I'll put it together and I'll present. But I mean, it's quite, because you can do the DNA and you can do the gut biome separately. But if you put them together, they do some kind of cross-modification of those results.
Yeah, because you might be a bit Egyptian and therefore this...
Yeah. I'm part Asian.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see by looking at me,
Yeah.
can't you? I think it's like 0.3%, but I don't know which bit. No, it's quite interesting. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I don't understand. But anyway, they sent me an update and they said, your account is quite good. The dashboard's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you it.
Yeah.
And they said, we haven't updated your results, but as we've found out more about the science of all this, we've put that into your information and it's giving you more stuff.
Okay.
So as they find out things, they update your account.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's really good.
Exciting.
Dentists are not prevented from using doctor entirely as in their title.
Okay.
But it is about the way they use it. So I think, a spokesman for the Department of Health said the title of doctor is not a protected title, so you don't have to be a medical practitioner to use it. I think you can call yourself a doctor, but what you can't go telling everyone is that you're a doctor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bit like Doctor Who.
Well, it's like in, is it New Zealand where quite a few, or Dr. Dre, quite a few Christian names are banned in New Zealand, aren't they?
Don't know.
Yeah, you chat a bit. I'm going to do some looking up.
Oh, shall I put your music on?
Yeah.
For a little break?
Yeah, so that the army captain can stretch his
sourdough.
sourdough.
Yeah, okay, let's get to that then. I do like the break, actually. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's relaxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there are other countries as well, but 21 baby names that have been forbidden in...
Forbidden?
Forbidden.
You can't ban a name, can you?
You can.
Where?
Yeah.
What, in a country? What kind of country?
They've been forbidden. Many countries have rules restricting the names parents can legally give their children. The country's registrar of births, deaths and marriages must approve babies' names.
I never knew that. I thought you could do what you like.
We could do this, banned or allowed, couldn't we? You could get some more music, and it could be like something like Sale of the Century music.
Oh, like kind of like a true or false game, kind of.
What's that? Sale of the Century, Nicholas Parsons.
Oh, right, okay.
So we won't play
I worked with him. I did a job with him once.
Did you?
Yeah, and he played the part of a game show host. We did an event for Microsoft.
Okay.
And we paid him an extraordinary amount of money to come along and be a compere.
We're not going to play true or false, but these are some of the ones. Okay. This is from the period of 2001 to 2013. 6 sets of parents asked, these were all denied, by the way, asked to name their newborns Lucifer. I think that's all right.
Oh, it's a nice name. It's like Lucy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2008, family court in New Zealand took custody of a 9-year-old girl named Tallulah Does the Hula from Hawaii, so that her name could be changed. The court is profoundly concerned about the very poor judgment that this child's parents have shown in choosing this name. It makes a fool of the child. I don't see it does.
No.
I can sort of get anal.
Someone wanted to call their child anal.
Yeah, that fell under the category of might cause offence to a reasonable person.
Yeah.
Baron? Oh, because official titles and ranks aren't permitted.
Right.
The same judge that saw Tallulah Does the Hula from Hawaii noticed that registration of officials had forbidden a number of other names, including Stallion. I've seen some videos with someone called Stallion in them, I think.
I don't want to know.
Also in the might cause offence category, again. Sex fruit.
I mean, they're not awful, are they?
I think sex fruit's something like when you're sort of in your 20s, that would be quite catchy. I think if you're a 3-year-old going to nursery and your name's called out.
Yeah, but imagine if you're called and it's a bit different, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's a bit different. Well, it's about that thing, isn't it? Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right, you know.
So the final one, fish and chips.
Twins. What? Oh, that was just for one person?
Yeah.
All right. If you had twins and they're called fish and chips, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, nice one. We have to move on, Mark. Work-life ballet, retro sweets.
Right, fight to the death.
The last blimey, it's turned already.
Yeah,
escalated. Have you got something to? Okay.
Well, you mentioned the site. I've got sites. If we go on the same site, how I propose doing it, because we've got a big range of
business meeting. Yeah.
We've got a big age range of listeners. We had a
We have, haven't we?
13-year-old the other day, my niece, who told my sister, I've been listening to Mark's podcast. And I thought,
Oh,
that's
she had a
sweet.
listen.
And she went, he goes on about vaginas a lot. She meant she'd listened to Amelia's.
So, right.
So my sister sort of like in a fairly terse tone.
Yeah.
So you've been talking about vaginas. My daughter's been listening.
Right. Yeah, we've got to be careful what we say, right?
Yeah.
I might have to use the bleep on this episode.
What, for vaginas?
The other word I just said.
Oh, yeah. So what I thought was, we've got a big range.
Yes, about, yeah.
We've talked about generation gaps, and your retro suites and my retro suites are going to be different.
There might be a couple of clashes, but...
Yeah, so what I thought was, did you say you've got a site with 60s and 80s?
No, I was looking at a site with 60 suites.
Yeah.
It's called, the title, Suites in the 60s, or Where Did All Those Fillings Come From? And there's just got some pictures of the advertising and some names I've not heard of. I was just going to read some out and see if you'd heard of them, but if you've got your little game to do, then let's do that.
Well, we could...
I could just read some of them out, see if you've heard of them.
Yes.
The first one I've got here is Spangles.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
So boiled fruit-flavoured sweets in a square with a circle in the middle of the square.
Yeah.
Good name as well, Spangles.
Yeah, they look quite nice. I like that.
You can imagine that as maybe on a British seaside Butlin resort, slightly dodgy child's entertainer with a pet monkey called Spangles.
Yeah.
Uncle Tom and Spangles.
Have you finished?
Yeah.
Good. The chocolate bar that everyone mentions in the 60s and earlier, Fry's Five
Boys. Yeah.
I've never heard of it. I've heard of Fry's.
Skip over that one. It's
because
too
Fry's
easy.
is here, isn't it? Fry's is was Bristol.
It was, but they shut it down.
They do. Then it became Cadbury's.
Cadbury's, yeah. The Fry's factory was in Keynsham.
That's right.
Then Cadbury's took over, and then I think it's gone to Poland now because it got taken over by
Kraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've changed some of the things quite
I don't
badly.
know that.
It's like fruit and nut. They've changed.
Everyone's a fruit and nut case.
Don't think you can say that anymore.
What? I can sing the ad.
Mental health.
What did you say in the last podcast that I had to edit out?
Nonce.
Stop it.
You just said.
One's politically correct, one's massively offensive to my mum.
Okay. I love that she's the guide,
yeah.
She, for what's allowed on
she's
this. She's a big Prince Andrew fan.
She's like the Mary Whitehouse. Was she the one that... Mary Whitehouse?
In the 70s, yeah.
There was Mary Whitehouse that was the dog trainer. Then there was the one that was like head of...
Oh, no, Barbara Woodhouse, wasn't it?
Oh, right.
Her sister. So, Kraft have done... They changed...
Completely two different people.
Or PG Woodhouse. Trained dogs and wrote books about it. PG Tips. Didn't write books, sold tea. Crystal Tips and Alistair.
Are you all right?
Cartoon.
You haven't even heard
just word association.
Okay, right. It's just what you do on your own when you're sat in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. Sorry, where were we?
So, when Kraft took over, I think they've moved the factory to Poland.
No one's going to care.
No, people will.
No, they won't.
They've changed. In Cadbury's Fruit and Nut, they've changed.
Everybody's a fruit. And that's what I was saying, wasn't it? That's where I was.
Yeah. They've changed the sultanas / raisins, and they now put in chopped nuts rather than nuts.
Absolute savages.
Yeah. Anyway.
So welcome to. Your 12-minute rant should be about that.
Mm.
Absolute disgrace.
What else is on your
list? No, that was the main. Was the one at the beginning? No, that was it. What have you got?
Okay, so I'm going to try and give you a few to see whether these stood the test of time.
What do you mean?
Well, they were retro chocolates and sweets back when I was young, but did they pervade your eating habits?
Okay.
Caramac?
Yes.
Here's another thing. Could you remember when Lucasade used to be wrapped in crinkly yellow paper?
No.
So the Lucasade bottle used to be wrapped in see-through cellophane. Yeah. For no purpose.
Oh,
so
hold on.
It's almost like it's in a sort of its own condom.
No, it doesn't look like a condom. That looks horrible.
Yeah. Why did they do that?
I don't know. I never knew they did do that.
Yes or no, sherbet fountains?
Yes.
And what was the black stick?
The licorice. It was definitely a licorice stick.
Plastic now. It's
Excuse
plastic.
Me, what now?
In a sherbet fountain, what you suck through is plastic.
Hold on, just put a plastic straw in there?
In effect, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How can we talk about COVID? We should be talking about these things. That's the biggest travesty, isn't it?
So what about name changes?
Right. Okay. Cool. That'd be good.
Obviously, the most famous I think everyone would go for would
Marathon
be... Yeah.
into Snickers.
Also Jif and Sif, but that's less of a sweet, isn't it? It's more of a toilet cleaner.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I thought you had a list of them.
No, I was just trying... Oh, yeah, Opal Mints.
Opal Mints.
Yeah. Not Opal Fruits, Opal Mints. They changed and they became something different.
Opal Mint, not extra strong mints.
No. Became Pacers.
Oh, no, I don't know that. No.
I'll tell you something that is interesting, the size of the Quality Street tin.
What it was to what it is now?
Yeah. Don't bother going into it. I'm just saying it's
I'm
interesting.
not.
Okay, I'm going to give a catchphrase. You've got to give the product.
Okay, cool.
And listeners, you can all join in, especially our German listeners.
Yeah.
It's Frothy Man.
Well, as it's Frothy Man, it's a man that's made of froth, or it's frothy,
It's
man.
a polar bear saying it's Frothy Man. He's described the polar bear.
A polar bear? I'd probably go Fox's Glacier Mint.
No.
If it's a polar bear. Oh.
No.
It's Frothy Man. No, I don't know. Never heard of it.
Cresta drink. Do you never have that?
We're doing sweets, not pop.
Okay.
Come on. Stick to script.
Okay, which is another one. I'm doing all this. So
Yeah, it's your section.
which chocolate bar tasted how it looked? That's a very perverse thing. It was
Is
a
it?
distinct colour, but it tasted that colour. So it's a bar of chocolate
Yeah.
that's a specific colour, and
Yeah.
it tasted of that
Is
colour.
it chocolate colour?
It's not white or chocolate.
Okay.
It's pink then, I'll tell you. It's a pink chocolate bar,
Like that
but
one you got there?
but it tastes pink.
No, I have no idea.
Pink Panther.
No?
Not have Pink Panther chocolate.
No. Is that still around?
No, I don't think so. Had this changed when you were a lad? So I'm going to show you a product now that is very 60s,
Yeah.
and I think they might have changed. So that's what they were called.
Fags.
Yeah, they were sweet candy cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
But the lovely bit is that they had the red bit on the end. So
Yeah,
when you did,
I do remember
when
those.
you did smoke them, but were they like candy sticks?
Yeah,
when
they
you-
were, yeah.
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 But it's great that they were actually called fags on that. Okay, so here's the key one. Did you ever have Spanish Gold?
No.
It was sweet coconut tobacco. So
Oh, I
it looked
remember.
like worms.
Yeah,
you ate it
Was
and
it in
it's-
paper? Was it paper? You
Yeah,
have to
it
fold
was
it
wrapped
out.
up- yeah.
Like tobacco. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I do remember it,
And
but
it's
I don't
lovely
remember
that-
the name.
Yeah.
I've got some others here. Gold Rush.
I alluded to Gold Rush and I called it Golden Nuggets, but Gold Rush is
They
a
do
little...
look like nuggets.
It's
Oh,
a
I
little
guess they are.
cloth bag
Yeah, that's right.
with... I've got some. I bought some off Amazon
All right.
a couple
still
of years
do.
ago.
Okay.
And they're just crunchy little bits. They're not
You've eaten
real
them
gold.
since, and they'll be out.
They're candy. They're not real gold.
No shit.
Mm.
I thought you'd use one for your tooth for a minute. I mean, there's some... Cadbury's have got some old brands, like Old Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
just looked at that. It was like rum and raisin,
and
wasn't it?
there's one called Atlas, I think, and
There's one called Aztec.
Aztec, that's what
Yeah.
I meant. Yeah. Mint Cracknell?
Yeah. It was like an after 8 on
Okay.
speed.
So there's a picture of we mentioned at the beginning of the pod, the chocolate ones with the hundreds of thousands on the top.
What are they called?
They're not, they just don't have I don't think they did have a name.
You see, I'm going to get in trouble with this because I have a number of people that are into retro sweets that are going to just go, they're not just jazzies, they're also called, I think we're going to have to find out. Okay, jazzies or snowies?
These sound like drug references again.
Yeah.
Right, anything else on that, or should we?
Nah, move on.
All right.
Didn't go as well as
Complete
expected.
randomness. Right, let's move on. We've predicted much of the carnage that's happened, haven't we?
Yeah.
You start to think, have we just made it happen? Ooh. Because we've thought about it and mentioned it, has it happened? And there's a thing. We could be solely responsible for the things that have happened.
So what are you thinking? I'm thinking sharing the vaccine. We mentioned that as a good idea, and that's now being done.
Yeah, we did.
So are you looking forward? You suggesting looking
yeah.
forward for spring and summer?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay, here's the start of a 10.
Okay.
Tony Blair's influence in this country is just going to become totally disproportionate.
Interesting one. It's quite bold, that.
He has a research institute that is working with a government think tank at the moment. The irony of him working with a Conservative government. He is funded by Bill Gates and Melinda Gates' foundation.
You showed me that, which is all public record, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all out there. I'll have to find the link for that just for our listeners, but you can see all the donations made to the, is it some institute? Yeah, he's had lots of big chunky donations from Mr. Gates, hasn't he? Oh, Tony Blair Institute for Global Change?
Yeah.
That's
So
it?
he's one of the things he tried to do is bring in ID, wasn't it, when he was
Oh,
Prime
he's did.
Minister?
Yeah,
And
the
he's been,
identity cards.
yeah, he's been recorded as saying that was one of his biggest disappointments.
Right.
I mean, I would think bombing a load of innocent people should be actually top of your disappointments, but ID card was obviously up there for him. You could see
So
your
someone
face.
who doesn't want to comment on nurses' pay rises, right?
But-
Straight in, 2-footed to the knee.
So I think he's going to have a massive influence, and it's on the whole global thing.
Well, you look at, just go to his institute.global, and the homepage is a wistful-looking Tony Blair with equipping leaders to respond to the crisis.
Yeah.
So confronting COVID-19, and then just some of the news articles are passing the test, how to safely reopen the economy.
Yep.
Great research. Capitalising on crisis, Western European populists and COVID-19, past and future, and the progressive case for universal internet access, how to close the digital divide.
Interesting, one of Jeremy Corbyn's.
Was it?
Free broadband, wasn't it?
Okay.
It's funny, the Great Reset have taken that
Because
on.
that's so kind of two-sided, isn't it? You can kind of leveling the playing field in terms of people having the same access to information and knowledge and that kind of thing. But on the flip side, it works from we can track everybody. If everybody's connected.
Well, like Bill Gates with the farmers.
Yeah.
The Indian and African farmers, where he gave them a phone and then
took all that,
milked. The phone milked everything.
And then sold that data back to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we touched on it we talked about in the last pod with the, which I did put a link up to, Great Reset video.
What economic forum about?
You said that in the last one, that video that you couldn't remember in the last episode. The one about the digital tracking.
Yeah.
And vaccine passports and stuff like that.
Just a very, very quick one on that.
Yes.
This is literally going to be just 1 minute. So I watched Under the Great Reset research. I was listening to Snowden.
Edward.
What's his face? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave a really, really interesting talk about something called, I think, bulk data. I might have got that wrong, but I think it's bulk data. They asked him about mobile phones and are we being watched and are we being listened to? And basically went, yes, of course we are, but that isn't the problem.
It's the least of your worries kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like, that. So the interesting thing, why this was interesting for me, he was saying back in the day, he and other people used to use different phones that were easier to have control over. And when I used to do work with offenders, noticeably drug dealers, they would always have a BlackBerry, because a BlackBerry in effect was encrypted, but also you could take the back off, take the battery out.
Oh, right.
And what Edward Snowden was saying, so the police couldn't intercept anything on it. It was done in some riots as well. In the Tottenham riots, BlackBerries were used to coordinate the whole thing. The harder thing about BlackBerries is smuggling them into prisons, though, because they're not so aerodynamic.
Are you saying you can't shove them up your arse very easily?
You can't, no.
Just say that.
Okay. So...
Bet someone's tried.
Did
Did someone try? Has someone? Have you seen
everything got
stuck up there? What was the best thing you saw smuggled in up someone's bottom?
The best thing, not up someone's bottom, the best thing I've seen smuggled in was, I'm not going to say the jail, but the security men put together a little video of failed drug smuggling in this prison.
Oh, yeah?
So when the visitors come in, basically they were searched and there was drug dogs and everything.
Right.
And then you go and sit opposite your loved one. You'd have this sort of parade of people coming in to visit. There was one and the camera was tracking and she looked like a hamster. She had so much drugs in her.
Like a mouth.
And the idea was she was going to kiss her partner.
Swap.
Basically spit it into his mouth and he
Yeah.
would try and then swallow it and then a couple of days later be able to use it.
Yeah.
And she was very aware. I can't even remember what the rules were about because it wasn't like a screen. You were basically sitting at a little table.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, to be honest, if there was allowed to be any physical contact. Obviously, you couldn't have a bag and start,
Yeah.
But this camera just zoomed in and these great big cheeks. And she was obviously finding it quite hard. There was a lot
To
of
keep
drugs
them
in it.
there.
So she went over to the vending machine, got a couple of things of tea, and they're sitting there. And she's like looking around, trying to find an opportunity, but couldn't find one. And the prison officer was very close to her. She took a sip of tea, and obviously, without thinking, one of her cheeks disappeared.
Oh,
so
she swallowed
the
it.
drugs back inside, but she didn't know. I don't think it was necessarily properly wrapped, but she now obviously had heroin gone straight into her stomach.
God.
With boiling hot tea, having washed it down, and I didn't get the feeling it was like she was sophisticated enough, and you could just see her face.
Just go, oh no.
Yeah. The smuggling was really interesting. We did have at the same prison people putting drugs in tennis balls and hitting them over with tennis rackets
Oh,
over
yeah,
the
yeah,
wall.
yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
And we did have one incident of a helicopter hovering down, chucking out a ladder and trying to get someone to escape. And from this prison, there was only one escape when I was there, and that's top thing, obviously, in prisons. Like, escapes is like so frowned on.
Yeah.
And this guy basically, yeah,
the number one. I mean,
yeah, he escaped with the laundry and a van that was being taken there. They didn't have a laundry in the prison lot, or didn't have a big enough laundry to do everything, and he escaped in the dirty laundry.
Nice one.
But what happened is when he got to the laundry, basically the lorry was emptied out down this massive chute, and he was just like getting ready to be conveyor belted into this great big washing machine.
Brilliant.
So
Gone in dirty, come out clean. Nice.
Yeah. Where were we before that?
No idea. Bulk data.
So what he was saying was, the person interviewing him said, I guess if you don't want to be traced, turn your phone off.
Mm-hmm.
And he went, yeah, right. And he went, well, you can turn your phone off. And he went, how do you know it's off?
Yeah. It's still
And the guy's
giving a
going,
signal,
well,
isn't
if
it?
you've done it. And he said, even if there's no screen, you don't know that it's not running. All you know, you've been presented that it's off. You've been told it's off by the phone.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's actually doing. Anyway, what he was saying was, I'm going to be very brief here, he was saying the danger isn't the phones per se, it's the amalgamation of bulk data by the masts. So it's a bit like when we were saying Syria's always on.
Mm.
When you're near a mast, it connects, it knows you're by it.
Right.
So that mast goes, this phone is by me.
Right.
If it makes a call now, it's going to ask me to work in tandem with it.
Yeah.
But it still has to record everything that comes near it. And if it's the nearest mask, it'll then pick up the signal.
Yeah.
This bulk data obviously puts a picture because you're just tracked in your whole of your life. So even if you're not going onto Google Maps,
It still knows
the
where you are.
masts themselves have a picture
Where you've been.
of where you've been
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
And he was saying the thing is that bulk data is not your data, it's their data.
Yeah.
And he gave the precedent for it in the 1970s. A woman had some dodgy phone calls, and she'd seen a guy outside her house in a car and thought the two were connected. She rang the police with a license plate. They found out where the license plate was, like, what house.
Yeah.
Went in, got his phone number, went to the phone company and said, give us the phone records, and found out he'd been phoning this woman.
Right.
Job done. When it got to court, this guy's defence, I think he was called Smith, this guy's defence said, there wasn't a warrant. This is confidential information. Without a warrant, you can't have it. And then the prosecutor said, it's not his data, it's the phone company's. So all we did is go to the phone company and said, can you tell us? So we didn't need to have a warrant. It was their data. And that has now set the precedent that the phone company
It hasn't changed since. Wow.
So all that data and all that movement is kept by phone companies to use however they want.
But you kind of then go into GDPR because either this bulk data is there is a person in this area who moves from here to here to here, right? The GDPR stuff is when someone is, if you are personally identifiable from that data. Now they could probably argue, we've got all this data, but we don't know who it is. But it's like, how far do you drill down? But they also can go a bit further, like the blockchain stuff. Everything's auditable, isn't it? Right down to the individual.
Yeah.
To literally pin you to a point. You go, I wasn't there. And you go, no, you were, because these records show you
but
were.
they'll have your number, and your number
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
so
it
they
links
do
you
know
to.
who you
Yes,
are,
it does. But they might just go, we've just got a person. Do you know what I mean? It's like IP address. We've just got an IP. Yeah, but you could pin it down to a device if you really wanted to. Or IP can do area, or you can do device depending on
But if you take this to its natural conclusion, but the targeting is far more than we've even imagined. Because if this particular guy,
well, it's a little bit like we're focused on the wrong thing.
yes,
Aren't we? We're focused on the stuff we can see and
on the stuff
here.
we're inputting. That doesn't matter. It's where we are and what we're doing that's being
it's all
watched.
the passive stuff, isn't it?
So if you're in a Wetherspoons pub car park every Friday night at 7:00, you'll get some adverts of free offers, or
Did you?
or you'll be targeted. Or you'll be targeted.
Right?
Do you know what I mean? It's like you can paint a picture of that person, where they eat, what they do.
Vitamin D prediction. You want to rattle through we've done Tony Blair. That was
So the vitamin D prediction. Didn't I say this in the last one? Did I say to you?
Then I cut you short. I said we're going to put it in bookmark.
Okay. So my vitamin D prediction is, I have said all along they can't put forward vitamin D as a panacea for reducing the illness, because the vaccine had to be the panacea. However, vitamin D is almost universal agreement that it does have an impact on the reduction of severity. And therefore, my prediction is that late summer, autumn time, there will be some findings, there will be some government shift to go, now we're getting to the longer nights and now it's coming to autumn and you can't get your sunshine. We're going to push the supplements more, because what that'll be is another string to their bow to support the vaccine or to support the next flu outbreak or whatever happens. Because this vaccine is not going to cover other it's specific, isn't it? It's specific to SARS-CoV-19. So it's not going to cover new strains that are nothing to do with COVID. The vaccines are now here to stay, but vitamin D will help the cause. So that's my prediction on that. So another prediction is based on the stuff when we talk about the Great Reset. The thing that I've missed in my understanding of the Great Reset, I've been looking at being around changing behaviours and changing work patterns and changing, how people work and where they work. But what I've recognised is that the overriding agenda is the green agenda. Much more than I'd ever known.
Yeah.
That underpins everything. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to say is that over the next 6 or 9 months, the resources into the green agenda in this country are going to just be exponentially increase. And we're just going to see more and more things.
Do you think that is for the right reasons? Or do you think it's for...
I think it's for Great Reset reasons.
Yeah, but no, well, or is that the same as if they're not pushing any green agenda, no one's going to want to hear about it, and Greta's going to get all up in their grill, and they're not going to, and it's going to stop them in their tracks? Do you think the green agenda, if from a very cynical point of view, is been a free pass to talk about other things? If you've got a contentious argument or a contentious set of views, if that's wrapped in a green agenda,
you can't argue against it.
Yeah.
Having read so much of the
I think it's very important, because I think people could make a lot of money out of it. If it's about, power, money, greed, those kind of things.
Yeah.
There's obviously some really good stuff going on, but this has been monopolised by the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, and I just think...
who I would argue don't have truly altruistic values.
Well, they come across as altruistic, definitely.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? But there's plenty they can be doing and could have done already with the money they're all making. Like you said, you talked about Amazon's profits and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I just so my prediction basically is based around the fact that I feel there's just going to be, I think we're going to have constant references to this is going to be brought in, this is going to be banned, old cars are going to be taken out, there'll be pollution zones. I think it'll just be a very, very big push on green stuff.
Great. I've got one little list, and it's probably one for another day, but daring ideas that might just become normal.
Okay.
Things that are going to kick on from this. So flexible working is going to be something we're all going to be constantly talking about. Mm-hmm. We've set a standard now where I can do all that from home.
Yeah.
So I don't need to come in, that kind of, and when you start and when you finish and that kind of stuff. It was always a bit, the Scandinavians are kind of really progressive in terms of their, they're kind of, they have earned days off and that, condensed fortnights and blah, blah, blah. But now it's like, well, we've just done it. We're not looking at another country that have done this and got through it. We've all done it. So why do we have to sit in traffic at 9 to get to work for 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Shopping with local food suppliers. I think people are starting to do more than that, think more locally.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that will kind of continue. Green modes of transport, you already talked about, you already mentioned. And then it's into stuff that I hadn't really thought about, which I think would be interesting to look at some point. A universal basic income off the back of all furloughs.
Yeah, well, that's a great reset.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to read that book. And then communities and new, we kind of touched on communities a bit, but community and new civic infrastructure. So there's lots of people doing things in a community because they have to. They've had to go and talk to their neighbours. They've had to set things up that they've lost, done things remotely, maybe created more digital communities or even socially distanced communities.
Yeah.
And there's lots of good things happening, isn't there, at really small levels? I've seen some today. There's a litter picking stuff, just simple things.
That. Yeah.
And that's all good. But like,
how many pods ago was that when we discussed that? About
then,
having community resources so people could do it,
I guess it's all about harnessing these things now. How can you turn these into actual infrastructures that are going to stay around for longer than 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Finally on this, I think in a time where the divide and conquer thing has been happening, so with fear and misinformation and lockdown and every combination thereof, we've pretty much been smashed to pieces as a society, haven't we?
Yeah.
Different opinions.
They can rebuild us
beliefs
now
of just
they want.
Yeah, but this is what I guess I need to read that book. Is it about who's deciding how we come back together again? So if you go ground up, that is going to be a lot more terrifying for the authorities and the governments of this world, I would have thought, and big business.
Yeah.
If people start doing things themselves, creating smaller businesses where everybody goes.
Yeah.
Have to go to big supermarkets because they're going to local farmers or local producers, or they're getting their clothes from local producers or they're getting their clothes fixed. So they're not buying brand new clothes from these, what I mean? That kind of, you start to kind of build from the ground up. That must be terrifying for the institution.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
when
the
you
institution,
read the
the
book,
establishment.
you'll see that there is a way of balancing both of those. The big business, it was like the revenues of Amazon was going up 12, 15, 20 million a year, and this last year it's gone up 101 billion in 1 year.
Yeah.
So
Disproportionate.
yeah, none of them want the lockdown to finish. Last thing I'm going to say, and I'm not being clever on this because I have done a bit of reading. I think governments and big business are going to gamify
Ooh.
and incentivize behaviors. What I mean by this is, and I have written something, but we'll talk about this next week, around what's now being talked about obesity being such a link with COVID-19. Boris Johnson did a 1-minute video. I don't know if you see him going down a corridor going, I'm going to invest 100 million because I've been working out and losing weight. And basically he said, don't eat too many carbs. I don't eat chocolate and don't eat cheese at night. That was his, but he's got a celebrity personal trainer.
Yeah.
He's putting in 100 million to tackle obesity. One of the people that's been brought in on his team around this obesity is, and I might have got this wrong because I haven't got the name, I think it is the guy that developed Nectar Points for Sainsbury's and the whole Nectar scheme.
Okay.
And one of the things that Johnson said was something around using apps on your phone. So what I think is going to happen is that people are going to be incentivized to lose weight, to walk distances. Now, this is helping in the private sector already, isn't it? Because you mentioned on your private health scheme, you get rewarded for going to the gym. And
the more active you are, the more points or the more cash you get. Or, which is good for them because the healthier you are, the less they have to pay out. So it works for them, works for everybody.
But this works for everybody because it's basically going, you'll use your phone so we know where you are.
But the government are missing out on the data.
The government are missing out on the data.
And any of the revenues that are associated with that. Oh, I'm a cynical bugger.
But the phone company then knows someone who's obese and who's trying to lose weight is walking a mile a day. So we will bombard them with Slim Fast and Slim as World. So, I think what's going to happen, it's going to be basically, instead of obesity being tackled front on, there's no mention of PTs, there's still mention of diet groups. And
they're just trying to, like I said, they're not trying to get, like I said, they're not trying to go to the communities and the things that are already in place and things that already people are doing. Yeah. They lose the effectiveness of the control, don't they? Lose the power and the control of us if we're all doing it ourselves. Yeah. Why do we need the state to do that for us? Yeah. We're doing fine, thanks. Yeah. Aren't we?
Yes.
Through Strava, through MyFitnessPal and all the other apps.
But this is going to happen, that the government are going to actually
it's
make
back to
it
the data, isn't it? They're missing out on all the bulk data. They're missing out on that, aren't they?
Yeah. But that's much more controlling as well. If we know that you're on this scheme and we know you're going to walk a mile a day and we know where you're walking and we know everything about you, that's invaluable.
Okay. We've got a mailbag. You got mailbag.
Yeah,
Russian Spy.
Russian Spy has seen, evidently there's a Netflix documentary on the mulleted serial killer on Bullseye.
Oh, okay.
He was identified because of his mullet. Remember the pictures I showed
his haircut,
you last
not
week?
a fish he was carrying.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
If I'd had more, there must be a
Fishy.
really...
What?
No, just a really good pun on that.
I just did one. I did a fish joke.
Say it again.
You said he was identified by his mullet.
Yeah.
So it's like his hair or his fish he was carrying. Good grief, Mark.
Yeah, no, I know you said it. I understand that.
You know a mullet's a fish.
Yeah, I know.
Muppet, not a mullet. Muppet. Right. Russian Spy. Oh, that was it?
Yeah, just there's a documentary for people who'd like to see it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Russian Spy. Big fan. Life hacks. So, I'm going to rattle through these. When you're shopping online,
yes,
and you're looking at reviews for products, read the 3 and 4 star reviews.
Yes.
Little tip.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. Yeah. And there's some research to actually back that up.
1 is grudges, 5 are people that just want to be
absolutely,
nice.
Absolutely.
With you on that
and
one.
There's some science to say that people who vote like 3 and 4 shop more, feedback more, send more products back, etc. Mark, do you have a crack problem?
No.
I've
got a good dealer.
Do you have a weed problem? What?
I know where you're going already.
Do you?
Weeds growing through cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Don't use Roundup.
Does your... Oh,
That's
no.
another story.
No, does your patio suffer from weeds in the crack of the paving?
No. But yes, it does. What should I do about it?
Yes, you do. Interesting. Yes. Well, have no fear. Simply put boiling hot water on the weeds to kill them. You can add a pinch of salt, but I'd assume that would be after you boil it, not putting salty water in the kettle. But rather than putting nasty stuff on, the old pesticides that cats and bees don't like. Final one from me, minty business. This one is everywhere. If you're looking at life hacks, this is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd try it. So to remove scuffs from paintwork and upholstery, simply rub toothpaste into it, wipe it off and buff it out. And I tried it, and guess what happened? It doesn't fucking work. Now I've got a minty armrest on my sofa. Doesn't work. Absolute horseshit. Okay. So the hack there is don't believe the toothpaste.
Don't believe the hype.
Yeah. Anything else, Mark? 'Cause I'm going to wrap up.
Okay. So I'm only doing this because I said I'd do my homework. So I saw this morning has got Burnett_Georgina, and she is their person that has all the answers. She's very much a sort of Nigella, I think. Nigella and denim. I'm just going to go very, very quickly. Not life hacks, just people need to go to this, get their life in order, because she's offering hacks that are just way beyond anything you can do. So number 1 is a bird feeder made out of Lego.
Oh, come on. Yeah, next.
Well, it's actually a nut dispenser. Those are the nuts in the Lego. That's overly complicated, isn't it?
It's not a life hack. Someone's got to put a lot of effort into that. And plus the kids will be miffed that you've used the Lego up.
Yeah.
Next.
Second life hack is how to pose provocatively.
Hold on, that wasn't a life hack, Mark.
With a filler gun.
Yeah, she looks pretty tidy with a filler gun, to be fair.
Oh, this is the best one.
I'd filler gun. What?
Anyone fed up of masks all over the place? Yes, me,
yeah,
Georgina.
Mark's furious.
Mess everywhere generally. Look at my tidying tips. What she's done
Get a cleaner.
Got a box and you put your masks in them.
Oh, come on.
But
is this skill for real?
Yeah, but this is the bit. You put a picture of your gran on the outside.
Why?
I don't know, just to make it more decorative.
Oh, just to remind you you're saving her life. Give me a break. These aren't life hacks, man. These are ridiculous. She's getting paid to go on TV for this. Unbelievable. Why are we getting paid for this?
There's that picture. I don't know if that's a life hack or if it's
Hold on, she's just...
Yeah, I know.
She's just been saucy.
Just a minute, I'll do one more.
So far, I'm not impressed. I think I know why you're following her.
Okay.
Because of her top tips.
Okay, so this I think is fairly creepy. Georgina claims this is the best gift she's ever been given. It's called a mushion or a mushion. It's a lovely idea if you can't be with a loved one.
Oh, God, what is it?
So if you can't be with a loved one, or if you're with your loved one 24/7 at the moment, it's something to take your frustration out on.
Right. Oh, it's a cushion with someone's face on it.
Yeah, but that's not good, is it?
No.
Okay, you're obviously not impressed.
No, I'm not impressed at all.
Okay.
So it's a cushion with someone's face on it, so you can punch them. Or you can love them if you're missing them.
Love them if you're missing them.
It's pathetic. That's it for this episode. Well done for getting this far, and thanks for listening. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at I'mFinecast. What's that one?
It's a cup and saucer bird table.
She's glued a cup to a saucer, hung it up, and put some seed on it. I mean, she's really bored.
Well, if they don't like the Lego, they got that option.
You just get a bird feed. What's wrong with her?
Oh, what, like a wooden one?
You might as well just put birdseed on the floor and be done with it. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at I'mFinecast, and send your feedback and ideas to imfinecast@gmail.com. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review if on Apple Podcasts, and tell a friend or 2 or 3 or 4. In the next episode, I thought everyone's doing this. I thought we'd jump on with a youth, how it started and how it's going.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was it. Anything else, Mark, from you?
No, I'm just off to do
what?
Feed the birds.
What, tuppence a bag?
Yep.
Okay, have fun. See you later.
See ya.